Right, so I just wanted to go talk about the laminations I'm ordering because money has been very tight, and I don't normally ask for people to help with donations, but I do have a donate link. I'll try and put it in the description. But these things are not cheap to get cut, laser cut. They usually cost me as much as 60 quid, or even more than that. And there's been past situations where I've actually had these laser cut and they've cost me like 100 quid. But I mean, everything I'm doing is to benefit the community for free energy. To these are the ones I'm getting a price estimate on, and so everything I've been doing over the last 3 4 years has all been open source. I mean, I'm not keeping anything back. I'm not keeping any secrets. I'm telling you what I'm finding. Um, and if we succeed in a design that works, I will certainly tell you how to build it. But um, that's the whole point. Most people, most inventors, and most people actually design something. They keep it to themselves, and they don't give you all the facts and all the details about how to build something. And they tend to go out on their own and basically try to make themselves a load of money and cut everybody else out. But I'm not doing that. I'm trying to keep this free open source. But you see, everything costs money. I mean, I can't afford it. You see, I'm on a benefit, a disability benefit, and it's hard work. It really is hard work. I mean, I've just worn myself to the bone basically. The last few years. I mean, I've got a plastic bucket full of absolutely jam packed with stuff that has been discarded. I mean, I've had to chuck a load of stuff away, but I mean, look at this. Let me just. Where's my? Hang on a minute. I'm trying not to press buttons by accident. But this bucket here is absolutely jam-packed with all my previous designs. Everything in here. And there's my other one up there. My road magnets. And these are the Alnico polarity changing devices. I mean, this bucket is absolutely packed with all my stuff that I spent a fortune on, really, and materials. I mean, I'm not begging or anything, but I'm just saying, if you want to help, you can. Copper wire costs more than anything, really, because copper wire is not cheap to buy these days. Anyway, so I'm just basically showing you what the next plan is. I've just got this today, it just arrived. New 500-gram spool of wire. But it's the laminations that it's those things when I get them cut. I mean, this is all the. Let me just show you what I've got here. If I can do this without everything falling. Everything falling as usual. Right, these are the laminations I had previously cut. There's sheets and sheets of stuff here that I hadn't originally made and designed, and most of it was stuff that's vacant. Where there's holes is where I've popped out the bits that I've needed to build things. That's one sheet. That's another sheet. There's about there's about 500 quid worth of stuff here, sheet metal. I actually never used all these laminations. I took a few out, but you see they just basically pop out like that. So this was for previous projects, and they're not cheap. Engineering firm uses the Maztac laser cutter to cut all these intricate shapes out. And every time I order this stuff, I mean, there was 384 pieces on there on this sheet alone. Total order quantity was 768 pieces. So you can imagine that stuff adds up. It really adds up, and I really feel like we're getting close now to some kind of. I can get up. I think we're getting really close now to a solid state device that was going to be usable. can I move this? This is my solar panel box actually. This thing, everything's falling on the floor. So yeah, but if you can help out in any way, it would certainly speed things along a bit, because these laminations that I was showing on the computer screen are for the corners, to couple these corners on the new solid state device. So instead of having the ball bearing there, which is lossy, and instead of having the ball bearing that goes right on the end, which is also quite lossy, lossy meaning as in I'm losing energy, there's about 70% of flux being lost between this point here and the lamination rods that are actually in that section at the bottom down there, go all the way through these cores. By having a much bigger solid piece of steel with laminations, the flux lines will be focused in a straight line around a corner down to the output section. So we should have well, I know for a fact we will have a much better coupling. And obviously there's 25 laminations in each corner, that's 100 altogether. So 25, 25, and down at the bottom another 50, so for the two sides, so that's 100. So I've actually ordered 100. Well, I'm going to get a price estimate, but I'm guesstimating, because the last time I had some laminations cut of about that quantity, it was around 60 quid, 70 quid, pounds money, you know. UK we tend to call it quid instead of pounds, because pounds get mixed up with weight, so that's why we tend to use the word quid sometimes, because every time somebody says 30 pounds, people say, what, money or weight? It's kind of funny really. But so anyway, yeah, so when I get these, if I can get these cut, if I can afford it, because it might take me, if it's going to be expensive, it's going to probably take me a month or two to save up money, and I mean, I'll have to put money aside, which delays everything. And well, it's up to you if you don't mind waiting. I've got to find the cash to get this stuff cut, you see. There's no easy way of doing it manually. I mean, I thought about doing it with the steel rods. I did think about doing it with the steel rods on the corners, but it's not very practical. I mean, it's a lot of they're still lossy. Having rods on the corners is still going to be quite lossy, whereas the laminations, the flux tends to bounce off the corner, which is what's cut in there, the top right hand side corner. The flux will traverse around that corner much more easily because of the round shape, and the little mouth that's at the bottom down here, I don't know if I can show you, oh, my finger's too close. The mouth at the bottom there is where all the rods at the bottom will come through and intersect. I could actually have a steel ball inside that mouth and it will be fine, because it's encompassed, so there'll be won't be much of a loss there. But yeah, yeah, so anyway, just a little bit of a situation update. Yeah, I mean, I'm estimating that at the moment, because on this particular coil on this side, this output coil, we have about 4 volts, 3.78 volts, depending on the tuning, but I've had it up to 4 volts on this coil. I wound this other coil on the right hand side, and that one can actually produce 9 volts, but it's not sufficient to charge up my, I run out of wire actually that's why I've ordered some more wire, another spool. But when I wound that coil, I used up what was left on a bobbin, and it was just enough to basically give me 9 volts AC RMS, and it's not sufficient voltage to actually charge up my supercapacitors, which really require 12. So 12 volts is really target minimum, but I really need more than that. So I could have got more wire on there if I had it, but I didn't have the wire. So yeah, so we're going to go up to we really need an RMS of at least 20 volts, because usually when you're designing something, you want to have the voltage twice what you really want to drive, so you can get enough current out of it. Because you need an overhead, so it can be regulated back down again to the voltage that you need to charge something. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah. So what I was going to say is that yeah, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for email back from R&D Engineering to. Uh, he actually contacted me earlier today. I've sent him a reply. Let me see, where is it? Just so you know, I'm not bullshitting. Right, so he replied back to me earlier today. There's his logo. Yeah, so he's been back to me. I've replied. So they're going to be cutting it if it's not too expensive. Anyway, thank you for watching.